She sent a letter.
It's my honor to welcome the Prime Minister back to Camp David. I look forward to spending a good 3 hours talking to our friend about how to keep the peace. This world faces some serious threats, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about how to promote freedom around the world. We're going to talk about our shared values that recognizes the worth of every individual. And I'm looking forward to this time. It's awfully thoughtful of Tony to come over here. It's an important meeting, and because he's an important ally, an important friend. Welcome.
Thanks. I'm looking very much forward, obviously, to discussing the issues that are preoccupying us at the moment with the President, and I thank him for his kind invitation to come here and his welcome. The point that I would emphasize to you is that the threat from Saddam Hussein and weapons of mass destruction, chemical, biological, potentially nuclear weapons capability, that threat is real. We only need to look at the report from the International Atomic Energy Agency this morning, showing what has been going on at the former nuclear weapons sites to realize that. And the policy of inaction is not a policy we can responsibly subscribe to. So the purpose of our discussion today is to work out the right strategy for dealing with this, because deal with it we must.
It's not us, it's not Britain or America that's in breach of the United Nations resolution.
This is an issue for the whole of the international community. But the UN's got to be the way of dealing with this issue, not the way of avoiding dealing with it. Now, of course, as we showed before in relation to Afghanistan, we want the broadest possible international support, but it's got to be on the basis of actually making sure that the threat that we've outlined is properly adhered to. Because the point that I would emphasize to you is it's not us, it's not Britain or America that's in breach of United Nations resolutions. It's Saddam Hussein and Iraq. And therefore this issue is there for the international community to deal with. And we've got to make sure that it is a way of dealing with it.
This man is a man who said he was going to get rid of weapons of mass destruction. And for 11 long years, he has not fulfilled his promise. And we're going to talk about what to do about it. We owe it to future generations to deal with this problem. And that's what this discussions are all about. Final question. Pardon me?
Do you have any support from any other countries in the world apart from Britain?
Yes. A lot of people understand that this man has defied every UN resolution. 16 U.S. resolutions he's ignored. A lot of people understand he holds weapons of mass destruction. A lot of people understand he has invaded 2 countries. A lot of people understand he's gassed his own people. A lot of people understand he is unstable. So we got a lot of support. A lot of people understand the danger.
Of course, there are people asking perfectly reasonable questions about this, but the one thing that no one can deny is that Saddam Hussein is in breach of the United Nations resolutions on weapons of mass destruction, that is chemical, biological, nuclear weapons, that poses a threat not just to the region, because there is no way, if those weapons were used, that the threat would simply stay in the region. People understand that, and we've got to make sure that we work out a way forward that of course mobilizes the maximum support, but does so on the basis of removing a threat that the United Nations itself has determined as a threat to the whole of the world. Discussions I've had with people. Of course, there are people asking perfectly reasonable questions about this.
There's no way that I could have possibly known what we're going to have to deal with. I'm a citizen of a country that has had these 2 vast oceans protecting us for all these years. We were safe. People couldn't come and attack us, so we thought. Of course, Hawaii got attacked, but it's not a part of our mainland. We felt secure here in the country. There's no way we could have possibly envisioned that the battlefield would change, and it has, and that's why we got to deal with all the threats. That's why Americans must understand that when a tyrant like Saddam Hussein possesses weapons of mass destruction, it not only threatens the neighborhood in which he lives, it not only threatens the region, it can threaten the United States of America, or Great Britain for that matter. The battlefield has changed. We are in a new kind of war. And we got to recognize that. There's no way I could have possibly predicted that future. I'm honored to be the president. And so long as I am the president, I'm going to work hard.